Oops. Now, welcome back to Hannity. Now, after being hailed, quote, the Republican savior by Time magazine, the rising star of the GOP, and a possible presidential candidate in 2016, it's no wonder Democrats are stooping to new, ridiculous lows to target Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Now, it all started during the senator's response to the president's State of the Union address on Tuesday, when Rubio, well, wait for it, he dared to take a single sip of water. But because there was no substantive issues to criticize, well, the liberal, the left, the media, they went viral, and Rubio's, quote, drinking problem, as one liberal news source called it, is now being called Watergate. Even a possible career ender by Wolf Blitzer over at CNN. Pretty funny. Now, I can't imagine that Rubio is the only lawmaker to ever take a sip of water during a speech. In fact, he's not. And over the course of this segment, watch there on the screen, we plan to highlight some, well, Democratic drinking habits and problems. Joining me now is Reaction syndicated columnist, author, Pat Buchanan. Hey, Pat.
Hey, how you doing, Sean?
I'm good. Taking a nice drink of water. Look, you know what? I thought that Rubio gave the single best response to a State of the Union that I'd seen. A really terrific speech, handled it well, and it's a different audience coming out of the State of the Union, and they can't criticize the substance, so they go after taking a sip of water. How stupid is this?
Do. Well, I think Wolf Blitzer ought to be looking to his own longevity over there at CNN. What with Jeff Zucker coming in there, Sean?
Yeah, I think you might be right, Pat. They might be calling for crossfire any day now.
But look, Marco Rubio gave a fine little speech, and this thing has gone viral. The liberals have put it up. I looked it up tonight. It's about 1.3 million results. Everybody's talking about it. But this doesn't compare, if they're talking about any kind of problem, with Bill Clinton. He introduced Michael Dukakis for about 45 minutes, and Barack Obama has had his own problems. That first debate, he got wiped out. Look, this is a little glitch in the first outing of a candidate who's not going to be running, if he goes running, for about 3 years. It doesn't mean a hill of beans. It'll be done with in a week when all these folks are stop talking about it. I'm
loving watching it. We have on the other side of the screen, Pat, I don't think you can see it, Barack Obama, all these Democrats are all taking sips of water. If the media had paid it as much attention to the gaffes or to Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dorn, I would say, all right, it's fair game. But they didn't do that. Let's, for example, show a few of Barack Obama's, well, gaffes that he made over the years.
Over the last 15 months, we've traveled to every corner of the United States. I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go. There's a lot of I don't know what the term is in Austrian, wheeling and dealing. On this Memorial Day, as our nation honors its unbroken line of fallen heroes, and I see many of them in the audience here today. Representative of the extraordinary work that our men and women in uniform do all around the world, Navy Corpsman Christian Bouchard. Corpsman Bouchard, the men and women like Corpsman Bouchard.
Pat, if you say in one speech, corpsman, it tells me you don't know what a Navy corpsman is. That's a lot worse than this.
Well, look, I'll say 57 states. You reminded me of it. But look, remember, is this a more serious problem for, say, candidate Marco Rubio than candidate Barack Obama having to explain why he sat there for 20 years listening to the lovely sermons of Reverend Jeremiah Wright in Chicago? This is a nothing. It's a little glitch, and they're piling on. But what they are doing, Sean, is this. They did succeed last summer in painting and defining Mitt Romney before he could define himself. And I think the very fact they're sort of piling on and trying to bring this up and put it in the public is to sort of define Marco Rubio as a young, sort of callow, nervous young man before Marco Rubio can define himself. They know what they're doing. They've got the major media behind them, and they've already started out. But it tells you they think Marco Rubio is a problem.
You're exactly right. There was only one Democrat that got it, and believe it or not, it was Van Jones. And he recognized that Rubio is now going to be a rising star and a threat. Let me show you how bad it got. Your good friend Reverend Al over there at NBC, Pat, Reverend Al does what looks to me like a Saturday Night Live skit. I mean, this is how obsessed NBC News has gotten with this whole taking a sip of water bit.
The Republican savior, Mark Rubio's big night. And what a night it was. Okay, where was I? Senator Rubio laid out the right-wing vision for America. And, what was I saying? Rubio bent the truth last night. I'm hydrating just like the senator. But what Rubio was saying before and after his water cooler moment wasn't so funny. That's coming up right after I finish my drink.
A lot of water. But we're showing all these Democrats, Pat, they're all drinking water. You give speeches. I drink water during speeches.
Sure. You always have it. You just tell the folks, look, have a bottle of water right there beside the podium or on the podium, a glass of water.
Sure.
And you're always worried, I don't want to, because I do a lot of gestures and knock it off sometime.
Exactly. The same here. I have the same problem. That's a lot of hand waving,
Exactly,
stuff. Pat.
Right.
All right.
But look, it does show that they're piling on the guy, and they're very concerned about the guy. But this is going to continue. But it's not a bad thing to have Marco Rubio be hit behind the line of scrimmage here on the first time out. He knows what's coming. He is a young guy, and that's a real asset and an attraction. And he'll do just fine. This thing will be over in a week.
Well, a lot of the Democratic narrative talking points that they use every campaign, they can't say he's rich. They can't say he's privileged. They can't say Republicans hate minorities. There's a lot of their narrative, their go-to playbook that they can't use with Marco Rubio. So obviously they're going to have some problems down the road.
I think I think Marco Rubio's one of them. I think you got some good guys in the Republican Party out there at the governors that come on in 2014, 2016.
All right, Patrick J. Buchanan, good to see you, and get yourself some Poland Springs.